This is Pete Moore on Halo Talks NYC. I have the pleasure of bringing back for his cameo appearance on Halo Talks, Adam Zeitsiff, a good friend, Gold's Gym International, little stint at Smoothie King, making us all protein happy. And now we are going to create the long-lasting nutrition platform, Stronger Me, Stronger You. Zeitsiff, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, sir. Good to be back here with you, my friend.
Awesome. So we got through COVID. That was fun. You helped out on a couple of turnarounds, got Gold's Gym sold to some guys that look like they're taking good care of the brand.
Sure.
Tell us what intrigued you about Stronger You and working inside of the self-esteem platform with Chuck and Dave, and where you see the future of nutrition, which has kind of been the holy grail that we've all kind of haven't been able to figure out yet.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think Stronger You has been in business probably about 7 years now. And I think we took a really humanized approach to helping people understand how nutrition affects them, like physically, mentally, et cetera. And so as I started to dive in and learn about it, it was just really exciting how they were helping people. And then you mentioned it. I mean, Self-Esteem Brands is, with Chuck and Dave and the team, is a rocket ship. And for me, it was an exciting opportunity to get a seat on that rocket ship and really help people with the one thing that was really mysterious. People understand, hey, if I go to the gym and I work out, I can do certain things. But nutrition has been kind of a mystery to people. And really, Stronger You broke it down simply and really talked about education and accountability and all those great things. And to me, it was joining this team was an opportunity to take that and really scale the business, both from a direct-to-consumer standpoint, which is what we do, and also through gyms and through partnerships, because really gyms are great at helping people understand fitness and get in shape and training and group exercise and small group training. But nutrition has been a mystery in the gym business too, and so we're here to solve that. So been a lot of fun so far, and it's a super exciting organization.
Yeah, now look, there's no shortage of B2C nutrition apps that are out there. Back 23 years ago, I was part of a company and we had a nutrition database. And then I realized that I kind of eat the same 20 foods, a month. So, having a nutritionist set up, everything you can put inside of a tortilla wrap, inside the Mexican category, probably not useful to the millions of people that never access the platform anyway.
Right.
So what is kind of Stronger You been able to do to say, hey, look, I can provide you information, but here's an actual roadmap, like Candyland, if you will, but without the candy.
Yeah, without the candy, certainly. I think what really has helped set us apart. Look, you're right. There's no shortage of apps and tools, and there's so many different programs out there that use technology and help drive people to understand education. I think what we've been really successful at doing is humanizing the approach. And we kind of took the opposite. We're unapologetically about the human to human relationship, because what's more intimate than what you put in your body? There's not a lot of things that are more intimate with that. And you need another human to help guide you through that and understand not just the specifics about what you're eating, but why you're eating it. What made you have that? What made you eat half that pie when you were stressed out at 10 p.m.? Or what emotional things? What things are happening in your life? And so, really, the big difference with us is our coaches, our registered dietitians and certified nutrition coaches. They're very compassionate, and they drive what we call, an approach to being a human being, right? With what's going on with your nutrition, but also with macros and tracking. To your point, you can stuff a lot of things in a tortilla, but if you don't understand what the proteins and fats and carbs and how you're balancing that and that energy balance, but breaking that down really simply for someone to understand, you're just not going to get anywhere. And I think the difference we've done is take that human approach, make it sustainable for the long term, and drive the education and accountability with someone on a one-to-one level. And then also bring that into a community. Why do people join gyms? Great equipment, great training, and a community. And the same reason they join Stronger You is great education, great support from one-on-one human coaches, and a community that we have of almost 50,000 people that have gone through our program, or are still part of our community to help engage and support them along that journey.
So when you take a look at a certified dietitian versus a nutritionist, can you kind of give us maybe in layman's terms, what is one allowed to do versus what another's allowed to do? Or are they both allowed to basically provide nutritional advice, but maybe have a higher sophistication level from a scientific standpoint?
Certainly. A registered dietitian goes through a full boat of schooling, and usually has at least a bachelor's, sometimes a master's degree in nutrition. And so they really go through the full complement of the schooling. They pass certain tests. They get certified and registered in the state as a registered dietitian. So they're at the top level of understanding how nutrition can support the human body. And certified nutrition coaches are certainly have an education to understand nutrition, but it's a different level. It's usually a certification through one of the 5 or 6 different programs that companies that we're familiar with, at NASM, ISSA, et cetera, in our industry. So there's a whole difference. An RD has gone through the whole program, educated themselves, bachelor's, sometimes master's, registered and recognized by the state they live in, compared to getting a certification through an independent third party, right? And so we have both. We have probably a good half of our coaches are registered dietitians, and so they live and breathe the science behind nutrition. And the other half are well certified, not only through third party programs, but also go through our certification and get certified by Stronger You to deliver our program.
So when you take a look at how your market works or how your community works, are you basically sourcing the experts and also sourcing the consumers and matching them up, or are they coming to you with client list and basically using your platform to manage those clients?
No, so we come in and we bring the coaches into our platform. So they become certified Stronger You coaches. They adhere to our methodology of one-to-one human coaching, macro-based, understanding the relationship between the humans and the food that they eat and how it affects them. And then we drive clients, and we're a direct-to-consumer brand. We're out there marketing to people who are looking to change the way they eat and understand weight management. We're working with partners who have gyms, for example, who have clientele who they need nutrition support, and we'll provide that to them. So we bring the coaches in, they pass our certifications, they do use our platform, and then we're driving consumers in a number of different ways, direct to consumer, through partnerships, et cetera, onto our platform to help change the way they eat.
So if I'm a member of Stronger You, do I have a army of experts that are available at all times, or do I actually have a nutritionist, Kerry, who is now my nutritionist for the longevity of my time on the platform?
Well, that's the beauty of what we do is we have a team and we use some technology and some people behind it. So there's a human connection as well, who actually would match you up, Pete, with the coach that best fits the needs and what your desired goals were on the intake form as you join. So if your goal was to put on some muscle mass but lose some fat, and you work out.
Why are you talking about me directly?
I'm just using you as an example, my friend. You are the epitome of great shape.
It's ironic that I was trying to lose a little weight and put some muscle mass on, and now somehow I just became a qualified lead.
You did. In fact, good thing I have your email.
You're backing me into a podcast corner, and you know it. You just did it. Okay. So where do I put my credit card?
I'll take that from you later. So we match you up with a coach, and then yes, you stay with that coach. And so you have someone who gets to know you, understands your habits. You can ask them questions every day. You get an app. You can ask them questions right in the app. You check in every week with them based upon what you've done every week. You log your food right in our app. So we've got an integrated nutrition tracker right in our app. It's got a database of over 50,000 foods, and you can access whether you bought something at the store, at a restaurant, or you made something from scratch. You can create recipes, and they see all that. And so they're looking at what you eat. It's asking you questions like, how did you feel today? Right? Did you exercise today? Anything happen in your life today we should know about, so we can not just talk about quantitative but qualitative things with you and help coach you through it. So you build a relationship with that person, and the average person is on our program somewhere between about 4.5, 5 months. So you build a really strong rapport. And we've seen some amazing stories in our community about how the relationship they built with their coach has changed a member's life. Not just the results they achieved through management, but just what the coach understood about them being a human and how that made a huge difference for them.
Yeah. So when you think about 4.5 to 5 months, that's obviously a lifestyle change. You've made the commitment. I remember they would say, to make any change, it's 3 hours. If it was, let's say, smoking, right? It's 3 hours, 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, and then it's kind of like your habits have changed, your brain's changed of what it's looking for, because it doesn't need something anymore that you've taken away from them.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at hey, if somebody stays on for 4.5, 5 months, one, they've been educated. Two, they probably hit whatever event or goal that they were trying to fit into a dress for, or go to a party, or get their back waxed and then take their shirt off. We might edit that out. We might not. I don't know. Anyway, point is, do you kind of look at the business and say, hey, look, everybody's got to be here on a monthly recurring basis, or say, look, if I could create 5 months of change, then they might stay on the program themselves, which might actually be the ultimate goal. They either use the app, they don't use the app, but like there's enough people, 80, 90 million people in this country that are habitually on a diet.
Mm-hmm.
So if I could just get them to come in and basically use my plan, which is not a marketing plan, it's actually like an expert plan, and it's personalized to you. Do you think that kind of how do you think about the business? Because you might think about it differently than like a health club where I want you on here forever. Maybe I don't want you on here forever because like then maybe you didn't learn everything as quickly as you should. How do you think?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And what we talk about, listen, you said it, 80 million people on a diet, 95% of diets fail. And Dr. Jess, who's our head of nutrition and science here at Stronger You, says that all the time. 95% of them fail because they're not built for sustainability. They're built to achieve a short-term goal. They're not built for the long term. And so we do try to educate and teach people about what certain foods they should eat, why eating more protein and high dense foods keep you full longer and helps you build muscle mass, all the things that we take for granted being in the industry, but the average consumer doesn't understand that relationship. So we build the accountability, we build the education. And you're right, after 4 or 5 months, they've either hit their goals or they're well on their way. And our program was designed to accommodate for that. So when you join Stronger You, you get access to your coach whenever you want. They answer questions. You check in with them once a week, and they keep you very accountable. But after 4 or 5 months, you've got it. You understand tracking your macros and your foods, and you've got this thing down. And then we can drop you down to a program where you just check in with your coach once a month. You stay on the program. You can ask them questions. It costs you less. Now I can just talk to my coach once a month, and I have that accountability. It keeps me in check. I have someone I can ask questions to. But hey, I got this. Like it's the equivalent of working out with a PT personal trainer 4 or 5 days a week, and after 4 or 5 months, you got it. And then you catch them once a week just to stay up. Same
Right.
concept. And then even after that, we're actually getting ready to launch some new products next year. Where after you're comfortable with that, but you really love our community and our content and our podcasts and our recipes and our engagement and our curriculum and education, there'll be even a lower price package you can stay on and be part of that for forever and never lose that benefit.
Got it. When you take a look at what COVID did to the average person's desire and acceleration of using technology, whether that's, hey, I don't need to go see my doctor. Like I'm hitting this telehealth. I set up an appointment. I do a video. Like that's now probably pushed 5 years ahead of where it would have on a, natural progression. And then you take a look and you say, there are brands in every industry that I trust and that are their authority. So when you take a look at Stronger You, you're not trying to sell me a meal plan, right? You're not advertising commercials of, like, hey, 30 pounds in 3 weeks. And you're like, I don't know if even the math on that works, like that doesn't make sense to me. So, how do you find it kind of feel like you're positioned? And when do we actually get the health clubs to, understand that the fuel, somebody like putting leaded oil in their, gas in their tank versus unleaded, premium Technon, Stronger You is basically going to get you to your results quicker. You're actually going to feel better. You get out more energy. And when do the health clubs say like, okay, wow, this is exactly what I've been looking for because I can't put a certified nutritionist, on a picnic bench in the front. Like that's never worked. It's never going to.
Yeah. No, it's a great question. It starts with education, just like in the health clubs. Like you said, when you go into a gym, you've never really worked out before. It is an education. That's why you get a trainer. You work with them. They teach you the ways to do things. And that's exactly what we do. We teach people the way to do it. We teach them that it's actually simple. It's not easy. I didn't say easy, but it is simple. It's some basic things, but people don't understand that. And once you learn those basic things, as you said, you get that 90 days of habits, and people really become passionate about it. And I think just like I said earlier, the way the gyms have a community and you find your friends in your group X classes or you play racquetball with or whatever, we have the same community. We have people passionate about it because we changed their lives. And we got them to a place where over 20 years of diet failures, they couldn't get to. And after 4 or 5 months with Stronger You, they had the education, accountability, and understanding to do it. And it's so funny you mentioned, one of the former brands I used to work for. You mentioned we see their T-shirts all over the world all the time. Well, we see people with Stronger You T-shirts all the time because they're so proud of the community and what they've done. and they're wearing them at races, and they're doing that. And you don't see people doing that with Noom and all these other cool products that are out there. And that's the passion, to your point, that we've built around it. And I think gyms who have the same passion, their members have passion for their gyms, and they wear their shirts. And I think we've talked to a lot of gyms, and we were working with a whole bunch of them right now who wave the white flag, and to your point, said, I can't put an RD on every staff. I had a gym who reached out to us. They have 20 locations. They've got 180,000 members. They're growing like crazy. They tried it. It was a really smart person. They brought in a great RD. It just wasn't something they could sustain and scale. And also because in person is much harder to scale. And so with the virtual partnership that we're doing with them right now, there's a virtual partnership. They're promoting it in club, on TVs in their club, through POP. They're educating their trainers. Their trainers realize, hey, this is not a threat to me. I've got someone who I'm helping with the fitness piece. I've got an expert who's partnered with us on the nutrition piece. And we know together you're going to get exponentially more change. And so we're launching a pilot with them, and they're realizing that they need the best of both worlds to keep their members there longer and improve the lifetime value of that relationship.
Got it. So let me ask you a question. If we go back to the nutritionists and the registered dietitians, have you seen any individuals who are running their own business come and say, hey, I love your platform. I'm going to use your platform. So now, I'm like the equivalent, just to mention some other companies that I know, like Precision Nutrition or, Institute of Integrative Nutrition. Like they have software platforms that allow you to run your own business.
Mm-hmm.
Is it to the point now where Stronger You is able to say to a nutritionist or certified dietitian, hey, you can use our platform. You got 50,000, meal plans. You've got all the engagement. You've got the community. Like, come onto our platform and basically build your business off of our platform. Are you seeing that in any kind of reverse engineering, or are you really recruiting your own experts and saying, I'll handle the community?
Yeah, those are very cool business models, and Precision does a great job with the model. But for us, it's really, that's not the model we're looking at right now. For us, it's building our platform, bringing people in. And as you said earlier, we don't do meal plans. We don't have food lists you can and can't eat. Right. And we say this all the time, and you'll hear people argue about it. If you want to have a Diet Coke with your lunch, well, we're not going to tell you no, right? Just understand what that's going to do. You want to have a glass of wine with dinner, fine, but understand what that's going to do, track it, and manage those pieces. So for us, it's about bringing coaches in who understand our model, who get trained on it, and who can deliver our model, and we'll bring the customers in, and we'll make that perfect ecosystem. But the cool model that Precision and others have, but it's probably not something we're going to be pursuing.
Got it. So you've been on point here now for how many months?
I started in January, so we're coming by 9 months now.
Yeah. So what are a couple of things, as a new, executive coming into a new company, what are some of the things that you've seen to say, wow, like this is great how either they set up something with the software or, the way they set up this org chart's kind of more interesting now because, there's more support, or something with the culture here is more about, like people care more because it's nutrition than maybe health clubs are more like sales and marketing. What are some of the takeaways that you've said, wow, this is like a different environment, or maybe a little slightly different landscape, maybe more professional?
Sure.
I'll stop giving you ideas now because I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Well, so look, it's interesting. I'm glad you asked that because it's interesting because about a little over a year, about 15 months ago, Stronger You was acquired by Self-Esteem Brand. So you take a small entrepreneurial driven company, scrappy, and you've been there, you've been behind the steering wheel of startups, duct tape everywhere, yet great growth, accelerating technology, building a great ecosystem, great fans, and you take that and you merge that with what Chuck and Dave and their team have built over the last 2 decades, just over 2 decades now, and it's a really cool environment. And you take the great culture of a bunch of young 20-something-year-old and 30-something-year-olds at Stronger You trying to change the way people eat and help them, and they're super passionate about it, and you take probably arguably the world's most well-known fitness and franchise executives who are passionate about changing lives and who have their 4 Ps, people, purpose, profits, and play. You merge that together. And so to me, to answer your question, that was one of the most interesting things coming in. And you just feel the passion and the energy at SEB about changing people's lives. And it's been through fitness and beauty for a while. Now it's through nutrition. And that's not BS. Like that resonates. Like people, they're unapologetic about that. And if that's not something you can get your head around, then maybe you shouldn't be. You should be somewhere else, and that's okay. But that's something that the team is unapologetic, and so everyone is sort of aligned on that mission. And so it is a really, really cool culture, and they are, they are what they advertise. So SEB and now Stronger You. It's not just a gimmick. When you walk in the door, it's exactly what they said they were on the outside. So it's a really cool environment.
Got it. That's great. When you take a look at, obesity, you look at, childhood diabetes, we say, hey, we can race for a cure to these things, or we can actually just change people's
Mm-hmm.
lifestyle and behavior. What are you seeing on the community side, either from peer-to-peer challenges or just straight up peer pressure? Or, what are some of the things that you're seeing, or are you guys creating in order to build this behavioral change?
Yeah, I think the first thing is definitely the education. To your point, we could put a bunch of medicine behind it, or we could just change how you eat. And even for me, I've been in the fitness industry not quite as long as you, old man, but coming on 2 decades myself, and it was eye opening for me. Like, I learned so much, and that was humbling for me. I learned so much in the first 90 days about some of these things, about preventive nutrition, and really how it can affect not just your physical health, but your mental health, which most people aren't even realizing how much nutrition can affect your mental health. And of course, fitness has a positive effect as well. And so really understanding that, and then we proliferate that into our community, and our members, they experience that firsthand. So they go through that change. And so for us, they're almost like they're challenging each other. And in fact, when a new member comes in and asks a question in our community, which is, we have multiple moderators, we have RDs who are in there every day, we have coaches. 9 times out of 10, another member answers that question before our people can even get to it, and they're on it, our team, because they are so passionate, and they realize that you can't do this alone. And it takes a village, and it's not just the coach to member relationship, but it's the rest of the folks who've been there. And chances are there is someone in that community who's experienced what you're experiencing and can tell it to you from one human being to another and really make it relatable.
Yeah. Let me ask you just one more question about this constant change going on related to nutrition. There's people that come to a trade show and say, hey, we're going to do a blood test. We're going to find exactly what you're allergic to, what exactly optimizes. Like, here's certain supplements you need to take for, brain recovery. Here's certain things you need to take, and you can walk into like a Dwayne Reed and you're like, walk out of there confused on like what I'm supposed to take. So have you guys kind of delved into anything on the vitamin, the supplement side, the blood test? You're like, look, like, that's great to have, and it'll be a part of this in the future. But at the end of the day, like, if I'm living a clean nutrition plan, it covers 95 to 98% of the people.
Right. It's funny you say that, because we get approached all the time by supplement providers, by continuous glucose monitoring providers, by people who want you to poop in a box, and they'll send it out and they'll tell you what you're.
Yeah, that's a weird commercial. I'm not comfortable with that commercial.
Yeah, right. And so, and you don't have to edit that out. It's okay. And so we get approached by that all the time. And our team, our founder, Mike, and Dr. Jess, and the rest of our team on the science side, everything you said you can get through proper nutrition, or you can get by a 15-minute walk in the sun for your vitamin D and things like that. And so we really do feel it. And listen, we know we're always listening. I'm an innovator. I'm a technologist like yourself. There's always a way that technology can help improve the human-to-human coaching relationship. Of course it can. Of course it can. But really, some of that stuff is gimmicky. Some of that stuff really only tells you things for a little bit of time. It's still on you and your relationship with your coach to make those changes, to learn, and to have accountability for the long term. So for us right now, it's strictly about that human-to-human, macro-based coaching, understanding why your body reacts to certain things, understanding why you're making those decisions. But we're always keeping our eye open, and I'm sure at some point we'll delve into the technology side to help improve the experience between the human member and the human coach.
Great. Well, in closing here, you finally made it from 20% of the population to 100% of the population could be using your product or software. So welcome to a larger mass market opportunity. Anything here that you want to leave us with, or, any, maybe just like the last, sentence of what, the mission is here and how they can get on board, or, what the onboarding process is?
Yeah, no, we appreciate that. It's been always fun to chat. And again, our mission is to change the way the world eats. And whether you're changing the way you eat because you want to lose weight, because you want to gain weight, like you, put on some muscle, because I know that's always top priority.
Thank you again. Appreciate that. Appreciate that.
We're Stronger You is always here to help. And to your point earlier about gyms, we love talking to gyms and my colleagues and friends around the industry, because there is a huge opportunity there for them to help their members get the and in fitness and nutrition, and extend that stay and keep them there longer. So we love that opportunity. But yeah, I'm excited to be here and be on the rocket ship of SCB and Stronger You, and really help push this industry forward.
Yeah, well, it's a good validation for the industry that guys like Chuck and Dave and yourself are now powering a lot more change and can touch a lot more people. So good catching up with you. Good career move, good lifestyle move, good nutrition move, and I'll see you in person as soon as possible.
All right. Thanks again, Pete.
Awesome, bud. Talk to you soon.